at the fight against Jew hatred. We're the only socialists in the United States who defend Israel's right to exist as a refuge for the Jews. We think October 7th announced the intent of those pogromists to do a second Holocaust, and we have to fight like hell to prevent that from
That was
happening.
absolutely incredible. Sorry to have to interrupt, but you see this is the way we Jews have to live. Someone left a backpack. Do we know whose it is?
Say it
Someone
again.
claim the black backpack quickly so we don't have a security emergency here. We gotta move.
Are you from
Gotta
Israel?
move it now. Yeah,
Are you
put
from
your phone
Israel?
down, put
No,
the
no.
flag down and go
Where
get
you
it,
from?
please.
I am from
That was absolutely beautiful. Now, Aidan Golan made the following song incredibly famous.
No, she's
and,
not
you
here.
know, Eurovision, we know how much Europe loves us Jews.
See, this is the new book we have.
They
We
made
got
her
this in
change
Spanish
the
too.
words. You all know this, right? What were the original words? October rain. And what did they have to change it to? Hurricane. Screw you, Eurovision! You ready? We're singing October rain. No, Gabe, we're not singing Hurricane because we're not in Sweden. We're not in France.
Put your hands up, New York City! Ecstasy, ecstasy, everything is meant to be. We shall pass, but love will never die. Oh, hours and hours and flowers. Life is no game, but it's ours. While time goes by, every day I'm losing my mind, holding on to this mysterious ride, dancing in the storm. We got nothing to hide. Crazy heart that we left behind, and I promise you that never again. I'm still high from this October rain. קולות, תפילות, אפילו אם קשה לי לראות, תמיד אתה משאיר לי אור אחד קטן. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was absolutely incredible. Should she have won Eurovision? And Eurovision, if you're listening, when you once again in Europe force Jews to change words to cover our massacres, screw you! I don't care! We make no apologies for being Jewish. We are proud, my friends. Am Yisrael Chai!
He's very talented.
That was amazing.
Encore!
Yisrael Chai. I'm Yisrael. Yana, you are really amazing. We're going to try to have you back up before, but now, my friends, very, very special moment. I want you. Guys, on October 7th, my daughter, who's not here, she's in Miami, her husband's a rabbi, they are shluchim of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. By the way, this morning Donald Trump went to the Lubavitcher Rebbe's grave. Everyone saw that? That was beautiful. My son, my daughter was in Ashkelon, and bombs falling, and one of our dearest friends, who was one of Israel's most senior commanders, and I want to remember him today, Colonel Roy Levy, who was the commander of Egoz. He was murdered that day. We met him in 2014 because he had sustained a terrible injury. I can't believe we lost him. The fighting on October 7th was so savage. I was there in the kibbutzim a week later. The stench of death was irrepressible. And today we have a soldier who actually fought. And to introduce him, I want to ask my very dear friend, Sam Friedman. Where are you, Sam Friedman? To please introduce Stav, our brave heroic soldier.
Stav Cohen is a dedicated and a courageous soldier who reported for duty on October 7th, as soon as the attacks began. Over the course of 145 days, he fought in Gaza to free hostages and dismantle Hamas. Having lost close friends both on the battlefield and at the Nova Music Festival, Stav continued to serve with immense personal sacrifice. Despite being injured in Gaza in 2014 and recognized as a disabled veteran, his will to fight remains unwavering. Stav embodies the spirit of a true lion, fighting for Israel's security and for our existence. He flew in from Israel just for this, before he reports back to duty in just a few weeks. I'm honored to introduce Commander Stav Cohen.
Why are we all here? We gather tonight in times that the very foundations of our lives, the Jewish nation and allies, have been shaken, nearly collapsed. That jolt is not new to our foundations, nor those who took the shot. Just as Kohelet once said, what has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Today, as 3,000 years ago, we're being attacked. And our very existence is in danger. No one will fight this fight for us. And that storm won't pass on its own. As we're engaged in war in 7 different fronts, who all seek to destroy our Jewish state, a new generation is called upon. That new generation is not called upon to restore peace in the Middle East simply because we never had it. That new generation is called upon to be brave enough to make peace possible. That new generation is not reserved for the young ones. It is reserved for all those who seek peace, yet realize that in order to have peace, in order to have light, you must first dispel darkness. It is reserved for all those who value life. Those who value life are right here, paying respect to the victims and fallen soldiers of October 7th. Those who not value life are right there, if you haven't noticed. And on that note, let me quote a Lebanese journalist named Miriam Salah as she mourned on the death of the murderous terrorist Hassan Nasrallah on live air. She said, and I quote, "Today I hereby declare that I, as a mother, wish that God will take my children and bring him back." Ladies and gentlemen, may I thank you for the profound honor of having me in this powerful day. Sir Rabbi, thank you so much. Gabriel. You are the Am Yisrael's ambassadors. My name is Stav Cohen. I'm a grandson to a Holocaust survivor from Auschwitz, son of a 1973 Yom Kippur War veteran, and myself, an IDF elite unit reservist. I'm a legal intern, CEO of 2 nonprofit NGOs supporting Holocaust survivors and people with autism. And of course, I'm an advocacy activist or a truth spreader, just like any other person here. We're all supporters of the truth, of the light, of Am Yisrael. You know, a lot of people thank me for coming here to New York, leaving behind a beloved girlfriend and family. They thanked me for coming to give a speech. But I gotta be honest with you guys, I never came here to give anyone anything. I came here during war to meet my brothers and sisters. I came here to meet my people fighting our war. At the international arena, no less. I came here to share my point of view on October 7th from the battlefield. My friends, on October 7th, a dear friend of mine named Omri Ram was dancing in the Nova Festival, celebrated life. Omri was a true friend of mine. Back in high school, Omri was my savior. When I barely had friends, when I felt invisible, Omri saw me. Omri was murdered by Hamas terrorists. Immediately after he died, 2 of our friends named Tzur and Aviad, who was with him, they had a choice: run for their lives or stay to die. They decided to run, but not before they took Omri's body on their shoulders. They were too slow. They were too slow. Hundreds of terrorists kept coming while shooting anywhere and anyone, yet they refused to leave Omri behind. They got murdered as well. It will be my honor if we could say their names. Omri Ram on 3. 1, 2. Aviad Halevi on 3. 1, 2. Tzur Saidi on 3. 1, 2. On October 7th, Ilan Moshe Yaakov. Let God hear that name. Let God hear that name. Ilan Moshe Yaakov was dancing at the Nova Festival as well. As thousands of rockets are flying over his head, Ilan had a choice: run for his life or stay with his brothers and sisters to die. You know what he did? He took out his phone, just like that, filmed himself, and he said, and I quote, "Israel, I love you, in spite of everything, in spite of all the missiles and sirens. There is no place like Israel. We will never, ever surrender," he said. "We won't give up on our independence, nor our lives." Ilan Moshe Yaakov on 3, 1, 2. On October 7th, a brave young soldier named Tomer Achimas made it first to the front gate of Kibbutz Nirim. There the terrorists spared no lives, and Tomer and his 2 comrades knew that. They stood, 3 soldiers versus dozens of terrorists. They stood bravely. They stood against all odds. Tomer and his two comrades got captured into Gaza's tunnels. It was only after 54 days that his worried family learned that he actually died in that battle on October 7th. And only afterwards, his body has been kidnapped. So we buried some sand tainted with his blood. His father, who I love deeply, Moshe, his father had the most heart-breaking wish. He wished, let me bury my son. Over 9 months later, the IDF rescued his body, the wish came true, and there you have it. A 20-year-old, 2 funerals. The horrors did not end on October 7th. It is still going on. Just last Tuesday, the entire state of Israel had to seek shelter. That's 10 million people. 10 million Jews, Christians, Muslims, Druze, we all had to run for safety as Iran, the head of the terror octopus, fired over 180 ballistic missiles on all of our hospitals, schools, assisted living facilities, literally any place and any person in Israel. They targeted the elderly just as much as the young. They targeted the men just as much as the women, the babies as much as the elderly, the citizen as much as the soldiers. Prior to that attack, 2 Palestinians, on the very same day, 2 Palestinian terrorists started shooting everywhere and anyone in Jaffa near Tel Aviv. A young mother, listen to this, a young mother to a 9-month-old baby was nearby when the shooting started. Her name is Inbar. When the bullets started whistling and flying all over the place, seeking to end lives, the young mother had a choice. Try and run for her life or protect her 9-month-old baby. The young mother chose and paid with her life. The baby survived. We're gonna say Inbar, the hero young mother, on 3. 1, 2, Inbar, the hero young mother. The reason that I'm here tonight, my beloved brothers and sisters, is as simple as it's crucial. I came to New York on 4 different flights journey, which lasted nearly 30 hours trip, mostly self-founded, to tell you this story. On January 2024, I was already 3 months into the war. I lost count on how many terrorists tried to kill me, on how many times I almost got shot, or even when was the last time I had a decent meal or a good night's sleep. I have turned into a war machine. One night, we went on an undercover sensitive mission in a place that the IDF hasn't been in for a while. We went after this senior terrorist who had valuable information. We moved quietly as cats, as if each and every one of us were the shadow of the next warrior. One thing led to another. Shots were fired. The senior wanted terrorist got hit from a bullet. I could see this guy bleeding in about 100 feet away from me. And I kept getting massive fire from other terrorists. I didn't want to risk my life, especially not for a terrorist. But I did it anyway. We got to the terrorist under fire, we dragged them to safety. Then we realized that we don't have gloves. He's bleeding heavily, we can get infected. We hesitated under fire, wondered what we should do. You know, there is a known quote in Hebrew. It goes, Hakol Katuv והרשות נתונה, which basically means that the future is already written to God, yet the freedom to choose is granted to us. So, we chose in what was already written to God. We treated that son of a bitch because that's what the IDF soldiers do. We value life. And I'm not happy about it. But tell you what, we don't act according to our personal willness, but by morality and IDF values that we sworn to act by. As Martin Luther King once said, you cannot dispel darkness with darkness. Only light can do that. Let me tell you something before I go. That morality, it comes with a price. I fought in Gaza, as Sam told you, in not just this war, but also 10 years back in 2014, Protective Operation Edge. Now, during a humanitarian ceasefire, Hamas has fired at us an RPG, injured badly 2 soldiers that operated D9. We rescued them under fire. I treated Moshiko Davino. You know the rest, right? Moshiko Davino on 3. 1, 2. My friends, if we have one moral duty from all that we've been through, from all the sacred lives we've lost, is this: keep their legacy. By remembering them, by celebrating life as we just have with the songs and with a powerful, keep celebrating life. And of course, to make sure one thing, and I'll tell you this as a grandson to a Holocaust survivor, to make sure one thing: never again! Never again! My brothers and sisters, it is time to make peace possible. If we wish not to have another war in 10 years, we must do something new under the sun. Step 1, get our hostages back. Step 2, finish the job with the head of the octopus Iran, even if it spits some inks when it's afraid, even if it makes some empty worded threats. And if I can leave you with anything, let me leave you with this. You are fighters of Israel. You are our voice. Your action matters. Your being here matters. Not only because you influence the decision-making of Israel's greatest ally, United States. Not only because you commemorate the names of our fallen brothers and sisters, but because this reason, when you're praying here, we can hear it in Israel. We can feel it in Israel. May I thank Melissa Chapman for bringing me here, to the rabbi, to Shai Davidai from Colombia for inspiring me to come, for Dr. Andrew for contributing my journey here. Am Israel Chai.
Israel, I'm Israel, I'm Israel. Okay, there's gonna be plenty of times to dance, guys. By the way, what a speech to both of our presidential candidates. To Donald Trump, who's still here in New York, who probably can hear us. He was at the Rebbe's grave. And to Kamala Harris, who can hear us as well. And she put out a very powerful statement this morning condemning everything that happened October 7th. Say it with me. Stop Iran!
Stop Iran!
Iran! threatens the peace of the entire Middle East. Stop Iran. Iran tortures and murders women for showing a strand of hair. Stop Iran. Iran stones women to death. Iran hangs LGBTQ men and women from town squares. Iran is a moral abomination. And with that, you know, I've always believed, this is our final speaker, then we're going to incredible music. You know, I've always believed, of course, that Israel is the ancient Jewish homeland, eternal. The Jews are the indigenous people of the Holy Land. We are the indigenous people of the Holy Land. Read the Christian Bible, we are the indigenous people of the Holy Land. Read the Quran, we are the indigenous people of the Holy Land. Read all the Roman historians, Greek historians, we are the indigenous people of the Holy Land. But I also believe that Israel is not only the great homeland of the Jewish people, I believe that Israel is the great Arab hope. Would it were that our Arab brothers and sisters had the same freedoms in their countries that Arab citizens have in Israel. Would it were that Arab Muslim young women in Gaza could date any man and marry any man they want without being murdered by their brothers or cousins for desecrating their families. Would it were that Arab citizens in Syria or Lebanon or Egypt could vote for their elected leaders without being thrown into jail. And that's why I love my brother Sal. Sal Sinatra, baby. Palestinian American, lover of Israel, lover of the Jewish people. And Sal, as they said about James Bond, nobody does it better. Get up here, Sal.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
She is the mother of this movement.
Yeah, just take
We
this.
started
Yeah,
medical
good.
freedom, so this
We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
no vaccines. No
Okay, round of applause for Rabbi Shmuley for putting this all together. Isn't he cute? They put him on TV. They make him look like he's such a monster. He's a teddy bear. I love him. My name is Sal Sinatra. I was named Sal Sinatra because I do things like fly me to the moon, let me play amongst the stars. But I'm not here as an entertainer tonight. I've written out something because I didn't want to leave anything out. I never really write speeches. But this was so important, I couldn't mess this up. Today, on the first anniversary of the vicious and disgusting surprise attack by Hamas on October 7th on the Jewish people, which any person, it doesn't matter what country you're from, if you have freaking common sense in your head, you don't support it and you condemn it. I stand here unified with all of you and Jews around the world and all those in this world who want peace and safety for both the Arabs and the Jewish people. I come not as an entertainer, actor, author, but as a citizen of this modern world. Here in Hell's Kitchen is where I was raised. I'm a mixed race. I'm part Italian, part Puerto Rican, part Nicaraguan, and part Palestinian. My friends are Jewish, my manager's Jewish, and I don't think you can do pretty much in this world without having a Jew in your corner, you know what I mean? From New York City over here. But yes, I'm Palestinian. And the difference between me and other Palestinians is that I haven't been poisoned by propaganda and lies. Now, as someone who plays a gangster or mobster role in movies like Don Q, I'm actually a nerd at heart. Now, since I was little, I would sit, and my hobby, since maybe 12 years old, was studying ancient knowledge because I love to read. And so, as a result of this, I put together a lifelong work over 40 years, which has led me to know the truth about our situation today. I have not heard anyone say this truth, not on any podcast, not on any media,